There we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nonprofit Enthusiast Live. Today, we're going to be talking about year-end planning with Steps Foundation, Inc. We have Miss Abigail Ellis with us again. Hey, Abigail.
Hello.
So if you are here, go ahead and invite a friend to the Facebook group. Give us a hashtag replay if you're catching us on replay, and we're going to get started shortly. So while we wait, go ahead and say hello in the chat box. And we'll get started in a few minutes. Thank you for coming back on, Abigail. We are so glad to have you. I see Keyshawn. Hi, Keyshawn.
Hey, Keyshawn.
Keyshawn is coming on next week. So you all stay tuned. Make sure you come back next week. Keyshawn is going to be on with us.
That's what I'm talking about. So proud of him.
Yes. Yep, go ahead and invite your friends to the Facebook group. Go ahead and tag them in here if they're already in the group. And we're going to get started. We're going to talk about year-end planning. So, this month, our topic has been year-end planning. A lot of nonprofits are getting ready to conclude their fiscal year as of June 30th. And even if you're not getting ready to conclude, let's say you have a December 31st, now is a good time to start thinking about what should the end of the year look like and what should the upcoming year look like for your organization. So we're going to talk about that, what that looks like for Step Foundation in a few minutes. So go ahead and invite others into the group.
Year-end planning is always so much fun.
Yes, it is. Hold on a second. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi, Dolly. How are you? We have Dolly, Keyshawn. I see we're tagging a few people, and Keyshawn said, I'm excited. We're excited too, Keyshawn.
Okay. I'm definitely excited.
All right. Let's go ahead and get started. So Abigail, I know you've been on with us talking about Steps Foundation before, but if you don't mind just kind of, giving a highlight, talk a little bit about Steps Foundation, and then we'll kind of talk a little bit more. I have some other questions for you, but just go ahead and tell us about Steps Foundation.
Look, she said she got questions, but I got to be like, uh-oh.
Get ready.
Oh, boy. Steps Foundation is an organization based out of Osceola County. We focus on youth and their families as well. We have programs that are centered around helping students to learn how to live once they graduate from high school, as well as helping with their social emotional learning as well. We are looking forward to another year of just doing what we continue to do and providing those resources to the community around us. We just recently celebrated our first graduating class for our survival program.
Woo! Yeah, congratulations.
And I'm so excited about that, and so happy seeing the faces, the expressions on parents' faces, and just the students being recognized for the hard work that they did throughout the year with us. And we're certainly preparing for what next year will look like and how these students will now take leadership roles. So, we look forward to helping our future students thrive and excel in the best ways that they can.
Tell those who are tuning in that don't know about the survival program, if you could talk a little bit about that.
Our survival program focuses on students learning career development, health and wellness, financial literacy. We have what's called the survival component, which entails them learning time management skills. That is where we put in our college readiness portions, or even if they're looking to go into trade school. We actually sit with some students and help them fill out their scholarships if they're looking for scholarships. But we really try to go into detail and help them with the things that are going to prepare them for their future. But when they leave us, they're leaving with a ready-made resume, because we want them to be prepared for what's coming. We want them to go out and be competitive in the jobs that they're going to go after. I don't care if it's a Walmart. I don't care if it's a McDonald's. I want them to approach every job as if it's going to be $1 million job, because you never know where your next opportunity will come from.
Awesome. And Abigail, how long has your organization been around again?
So we started in 2019, and
wow.
I can't say it's nothing but a blessing, because I was not expecting us to grow as quickly as we did. I can say that the pandemic did us it kind of did us a favor, because we started in 2019. We did our kickoff party in February, anticipating doing in-person workshops for students and what that would look like. And then the kids never went back to school in March. So it was, what do we do? How do we figure it out? What do we do next? And we had our speakers lined up. We had a location that was like, yes, we got a spot for you to come in and do your workshops, to everything shut down. And so we ended up having to purchase Zoom and start trying to get kids engaged on an online platform where they were already sick of it because they were doing it for school. So it was definitely a challenge the first year, but coming into this past year, we kind of structured it a little bit differently, tried to make it a little more engaging, got our community partners to come out and help to bring the real course material to them so that they could mentor for the month as well. And it worked out. I would say it was definitely successful, and hearing some of the students' feedback, they enjoyed it.
Awesome. So this month in the group, we've been talking about year-end planning. And you know how important it is to kind of look at the past year, plan ahead. And I know you do a really good job at planning ahead. I know you already have your 12-month calendar planned out. You know what programs are happening. I know you plan for your board, like all of that. So if we can talk a little bit about what year-end planning looks like for Step Foundation, and even if you want to share what it used to look like, and over the years you may have learned some things, if you want to share that with those tuning in.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I know many of you, if you are just starting a nonprofit, year one is a mess. Nothing looks like what you want it to look like in year one. I mean, you have fabulous ideas, great ideas, and that one little monkey wrench that's thrown in your plan, it becomes a mess. And so when you go into year end, you looking at that thing like, can I just get it done?
Right.
I don't want to think about nothing else. I'm not trying to evaluate nothing else. I just need to get it done. That was our year one. I can definitely say year one was just, let's just get through it, y'all, because it is not what we planned for it to be. It don't look nothing like how we said it was going to look, but we made it through year one. Going into year two, I really took that time to focus on our infrastructure and what that was going to look like for my board to be able to tap in and do more things. Year one, and I know a lot of us are guilty of it, I took the lead on everything because I just wanted to get things done. I really did not lean on my board the way that I should have. And so I'm telling you guys, if you have a board, let them help you.
Which you all should.
True. But let them help you. Give them the tools that they need in order to be able to assist you the way that you want. And it starts with training. Yes, you're going to have to pay for it. Everything does not come for free, and we're learning that as we go. But get them trained on how they can benefit you and the organization, because when they're coming on, they should be coming on to benefit your organization to begin with. So this helps you with your end of year planning. So if you know right now that your board is not where you want them to be, that means it's time to start training them, or it's time to put other things in place so that they can assist you. Add that into your year-end planning for the following year. Okay, I might not have been successful with what I needed my board to. I may not have been successful with saying I need help. Make that a personal goal for you. Evaluate yourself. I evaluate myself. So evaluations are huge when coming up to end of year. And it's not just an evaluation of your program. It's an evaluation of your board. It's your board's evaluation of you. It is the evaluation of every program that you put out there. Even evaluating your events. If you put out events for the year, you want to was it successful, or did it cost you more money than it should have in order to do it? So you want to evaluate all those little things, because is it worth it to carry it to another year? Should it be an annual event, or was it just one and done? These are the things you want to look at. And like Lasheena said, I'm sorry, I can't. I have to be a year planner. I can't like do it for the quarter. I got a calendar that tells us everything we're doing for the year.
Mm-hmm.
And we start doing that months in advance. So before the year is even coming up, before our fiscal year is even starting, we're already talking about, okay, let's start working on the next year, because we know once programs start to end and once we start to get into, okay, we're coming into June, because June for us is our end of fiscal year.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, we already.
Oh, so you're in it. So you know right now what are some of the things you're doing, right?
Exactly. So it's like we do that lead up to process instead of that, okay, it's here, so now let's talk about it. That was year
Right.
one. We're not doing year one no more.
Mm-hmm.
We did not like how we did year one. And so it's about progression. And when you start to learn what works and what doesn't work for you, it becomes a little bit easier to do. We look at our donors, like who are the people who are donating to our organization? Who's fell off? And now how do we get them back? I can tell you we struggle with storytelling. We don't, and I know that is partly my fault, because when I am soliciting the kids to put out the content for our social media, and when I am asking the board to send us things to go in our newsletters, I'm not saying, hey, you guys, let's talk about the program, or hey, you guys, let's brag about what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that for me is a cultural thing. We don't like to brag, but guys, we gotta brag. We gotta brag in order for people to know what we out here doing. So that for this coming year, we're changing that.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be bragging all over the place. Y'all gonna be sick of seeing Steps Foundation, because we're gonna brag about everything. Okay, look, these kids, they deserve to be bragged on. They deserve for the world to know
Mm-hmm.
what they've done. And I'm doing them a disservice if I'm not bragging about them, right?
That's it. Yep.
And so when we're bragging, that's donations, y'all. People want to hear. Why are we giving the money? Now, we send out cards.
Mm-hmm.
We do thank yous. We do public thank yous for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because on social media, we're always thanking our sponsors. We're thanking our donors. We're grateful for everything that people supply us. But sometimes they need that little extra. We do wonderful newsletters.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people read them. I know some people don't. And when you think about when you're thanking your big sponsors, they maybe got 2 seconds to look at that email that you sent. Did the picture you have even capture their attention for them to say, oh, is it worth looking at? For them to even know that their donation helped with X. So, I mean, these are things that we look at and we evaluate, and we're trying to figure out the best course of action. This year, we dropping the cards off with a picture of our students' smiling faces in their hands.
Love it.
This is what you guys invested in. I want you to see the fruits of your labor.
Love it.
So build those connections. Like if you haven't started building the connections with your sponsors and your donors, build it and then watch how you flourish. Evaluate from now until then.
Mm-hmm.
So once you start building that process, let's see how it looks next year after you've done it for a year, and see if it brings you in more money. When you do your board evaluations, because I know that's another one, what is it that you're looking for? Are they actively participating, or are they just sitting there? Do they show up to their meetings? So, evaluate that, but ask them, am I doing a good job as a leader? And you can't be mad at the response that you get, because you want them to be open and you want them to be honest with you. Take the feedback and see how you can grow yourself in order to help them grow. I ask my people all the time, like, look, we doing too much, but what's up, y'all? Talk to me. And they will tell me. They're like, okay, can we table that one for maybe 2 years from now? Cool, no problem. You're doing too much. Okay, got it.
That is awesome. And I love that you kind of reflect in all areas of your organization. You're not just looking at programs and events and what's going on. You're not just looking at your board. You're looking at your donors. You're looking at every area, kind of reflecting what did we do good, what can we improve upon, and turning those improvement points into goals for the upcoming year. Or you might decide, okay, not that year, as a part of that whole strategic planning process. Like maybe it's going to be a couple years from now, and that is awesome. I'm gonna go to our chat really quick. So we have Michelle said yes. We have Shamika said yes. Please evaluate your events and programs. I know Shamika, and Shamika can tell you about evaluating events and programs. Yes. Michelle said, beginning my onboarding process now for my board and fiscal year. Good golden nuggets. Awesome. Dolly says awesome, and Michelle said this. All right, yes. That is awesome. That's some really good tips that you're giving, and I love the fact that you're kind of transparent in a way of saying some stuff didn't work for us. It didn't. It really didn't. And you take that and kind of look at how can we improve moving forward. So what's some things this year, since your fiscal year is June 30th, what's some things that you saw that you feel like you all did really well, and you just feel like next year we're going to take it to the next level?
This year, that I can say was our program. That was our struggle year one, because we were pivoting, and it was, what can we do to make sure that students stay engaged? I mean, even looking at this year, we see things that kind of didn't work. I know one of our biggest issues was student communication. How do we keep them engaged with each other, because our students are not all in one place. So we have students in Orange and Osceola County, and when we began, we had students in Lake County as well. So we wanted them to be able to communicate with each other so that they can feed off of each other. Networking is huge, and we're trying to help them with learning how to have that communication and maintain relationships. We started off with what did we start with? Let's see, what was the name of our app? Remind. And Remind is something that we know a lot of the schools use. So we're like, okay, we'll try Remind, and then the students are able to kind of connect. We didn't learn until maybe towards the end of the program. One of my students is on with me. We're on a Zoom. We're waiting on the other kids to get on. And he's sending messages like, y'all help me. And he's thinking that they can see this. And I'm like, why are you sending me these messages? He's like, is that going to you? And like the shock face was like hilarious, because I'm like, yeah. And he said, oh my God, I thought I was sitting into the group. And so he got embarrassed. And I'm like, don't be embarrassed. I'm like, this is a good learning point, because now we know y'all been sending these messages all along, and it's just coming to me and y'all are not seeing it. So I'm like, now let's figure out what we need to move to, because if that's not working for you, I need something that's going to work so that you guys have a way of communicating with each other. So we ended up moving to GroupMe, which is phenomenal, because at least on GroupMe now, it has a calendar feature, and y'all, GroupMe is free. If you got youth groups, or even if you got an organization, you want to keep up with your board members without sharing everybody's phone number, GroupMe, free. And you can use it on your desktop and on your phone. So the students loved GroupMe, because it's like, oh, now we can see each other's messages. And they're over there hearting each other's comments and talking. And I'm like, this is what y'all been missing all year.
Awesome.
But it took us all year to figure it out, right? So it was a funny learning moment, but definitely something that we knew we needed to fix. We fixed it right away instead of waiting until the next program year. But I think that for us was one of the things that we said we accomplished. It had its kinks in between, but that's where we learned what we're fixing for next year. As far as the kinks that we had, I know one of our worst components this year was the parent engagement. Because we were so focused on the kids, we really wanted to engage parents, but we really didn't. And so going into the program for next year, we're creating parent workshops. And so this way, this gets the parents involved, and we keep them engaged as well, because we're very prideful when we say we're about helping the whole family. We want the
Mm-hmm.
families to be involved, and we want the families to thrive, because when the families thrive, the children can thrive. And
There it is.
so
Yep.
we have to have a collective. So now we're going to implement that collective for next year.
Awesome. Okay. And one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, and I always bring this up because you do a really good job with relationship building. And I know also you talked about teaching the students how to network and bringing in these different resources. What tips do you have for organization tuning in right now who may be like, I need to get out there more. I need to build more relationships. I need a community to be able to see me and know that I'm here. What are some tips that you would share with those organizations?
Show up, y'all. Show up. I mean, and I know as silly as that sounds, your presence in a room for some organizations is enough.
Mm-hmm.
The more they see you, the more they're going to want to know about you. And when you show up, you have to be genuine about why you're showing up. So not just saying, I'm going in this room and I'm going to tell them about what I do and who I am. No, you show up and say, I'm here to help you.
Love it.
I'm here to make sure that your event goes well. And I promise they're going to want to know more about you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so what is it that you do? Because you're showing up for me. So now how can I show up for you? And then it starts the conversation, and then you guys build a relationship of, they always show up for me, so why don't I show up for them? And then they start bringing more people. So you want them to bring their network, and then don't be afraid to bring your network. Y'all, I promise you, it's not a competition. We all in this together. So we have to get out of competitive mindsets. There's 1,000 youth organizations, but nobody is doing the same things. And nobody's organization is alike. Tap into each other. Bring each other in together on something. Collaboration is huge. But you have to go in with the right mindset and the right heart for it. Don't approach it as, okay, these are my kids, because they're not your kids. These are kids of the community. And if you're saying that this is the work that you're doing, bringing other resources in to help them is benefiting your community. So that's one thing that I always do when it comes to networking. I go in to see how we can help each other. And it's not about me. I give my partners all the recognition because they come in and they do the work. We really work together. I partner with a guy in California who tutors students for us.
Awesome.
I partner with other youth groups so that we're able to provide them the same resources that we have and the same connections that we built. I host community networking events so that people can come together and talk to each other, because it's easy for me to drop a name. But as we saw at the community resource fair, right? How many of us have talked on Facebook for over a year and never seen each other in person?
And never met in person.
So it's good when you're able to go out and connect with people and see them face to face, and embrace in their presence. It builds stronger relationships. Just show up.
Yep.
If it's a meeting, show up to that meeting. It don't cost you nothing but your time.
Right. That's so true, Abigail. And I remember when Abigail says show up, and she shows up. I tell you that, because I remember it wasn't last year, the year before, when we were having our toy drive. Abigail showed up, and she showed up with gifts. And that meant like so much. And it's true, because one of the first things you think, first, it meant so much that day, just seeing you come out, and then had gifts in hand, and kind of like what I need to do, like, where, I'm here, what y'all need, it means so much. And then instantly it's like, geez, I gotta find a way I can help you back. You do get that feeling. So when she says show up, yes, definitely show up, and you do a really good job, Abigail, with building so much things, but definitely building relationships, and also keeping those relationships going. So hats off to you for that. So, yes. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. Abigail, do you have anything else that you would like to share before we go into homework time and some reminders? Anything else that you want to share?
I don't.
All right. Awesome. Okay. So homework. So
Pull them pens
listening
out.
to go ahead, pull your pens out, listening to today and listening to the month. We've been talking about year-end planning as a whole. Start thinking about, if you have not started, hopefully you started, because we're 3 sessions into the month, writing down, what does year-end planning look like for your organization, and start preparing for that. Even if it's the end of the year, good, you got a head start. If your fiscal year ends December 31st, start now. One thing that I do want to say, because Abigail, you were sharing, like, going out and showing pictures of the students and so forth. One goal that I have, hopefully everybody in this group should have an annual report. And we did, if you do not have one, we did do a live on that with Shamante Cooper. You could go into our guides and see that last year, where we talked about annual reports, and he talked about the benefit that had for him within like weeks of developing it. So definitely check that out, and we could tag that in here as well. But everyone should have an annual report. And I'm not talking about just your annual, we're not talking about your annual filings, because sometimes you hear annual report and you think, oh, my IRS filings. No, we're talking about your organizational snapshot of what you all do. So some organization does this as a publication, it might be a one-sheeter, some do a website, I've seen them as calendars, whatever it is. Whatever you decide that works for your audience, that's fine. But every organization, small or large, should have an annual report. It is such an amazing tool. So let's put that onto your homework to create an annual report, or think about what that process will look like and start planning it now, so that you don't get to the end of the year trying to scramble and pull everything together. So definitely check that out in the guides, our annual report session that we did before. And if you all feel like we need to do another one for you, let's say, yes, I hear you, I'm gonna start doing that for my homework, but I do got questions, can you come back on, let's talk about it, let us know, and we'll do that as well. All right, so Michelle said, thank you, Queens, for filling me up. Michelle, thank you for tuning in, we appreciate you. Thank you. All right, so we gave you homework. Also, make sure you register for our free webinar, May 24th. We'll be talking about, let's talk about fund development. We know we all like to talk about money. So go ahead and join us for that free webinar. Yes, money. And also invite a friend to the group. So I know we have not done this in a while. We haven't talked about this in a while, but we're almost at 500, y'all. So if you could just take 1 minute, of your time, go into invite in that corner of the group, and invite, let's say invite 5 friends over to the group, so that we can hit our 500 mark. We are almost there. So that's going to be our goal for by the next live, which is Wednesday. And Keyshawn will be coming on Wednesday. So you all come back and check that out. We're going to be doing lives Wednesday next week, because, it's Memorial Weekend, and I'm going to attempt to go out of town for the weekend. So we'll see. So we're going to do it Wednesday next week. So make sure you tune into that next weekend. All right. Other than that, thank you all so much for tuning in. Abigail, it's always a pleasure to have you on. We got to get you scheduled to come back later on in the year with us. We appreciate you. And everyone, have a wonderful day. Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.